Hey, Primetime, sister, the colored elf. You know, I'm seeing you, I'm hearing everything you're saying. And you're talking about how big and bad you're going to be. You know, I said it at the end of the last show, talked about a bullseye. And you could feel it, can't you? You could feel that weight. All the eyes looking at you. All the mouths telling you that they're going to beat you. But this one right here, this is the only one you got to worry about right now. Now, I did a couple of things for a reason. I'm glad you like my stipulations, okay? I did that for a reason because, again, I believe that you won that championship. You won it. You took it. Okay? So, that whole thing of people going, oh, well, it was Zogby's help and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if anything, I'm going to have the Don in my corner. You already know I got Boss Man in my corner. You know, talking about the past and that that interview that was just put up on the Facebook shooting gallery with Bipolar. You know, I don't think anybody's really taking the time to read that. And let me set a couple of things straight. Now, as part of the interview, I did not go into detail. The Don kind of jumped on things a little bit. But as far as influences and impacts were made, Bipolar, you didn't make a single impact on anybody. You didn't up any antes. If you want to know who did, you look at how things changed. Two people changed the way things were done back then. The first to start it was the sadistic, the fucking creepazoid, and that was Reaper. Because he came in as the biggest, and he showed he was the meanest, and he went after people like there was no tomorrow. Till nobody really wanted to step foot in the ring with him. Now, the people that did never came back quite the same. I gotta admit that. And the second person to start this new way of thinking in the CWE was, of course, and without a doubt, the Crown Prince of Hardcore, Zombie. I mean, before that, you had two people, again, that kept things going, that made things the way they were. And giving credit where credit is due, one of them was you, Primetime. The other was Pitbull or Resin or whatever you want to call him. You two have, at that time, the best reputation for wrestling, the best reputation for entertaining. However, you, my friend, Mr. Primetime, beat him leaps and bounds when it came to being an entertaining wrestler. You let things go and you decided at some point to stop being a joker and became to being a joke. Now, I can understand if you're looking back at that, you feel a sense of dread or vulnerability, or you realize just how far you let that go, which is not a bad thing because you're turning it around. We're seeing that intensity back out of you. We're seeing that man, that entertainer. But let's face it, without guys like me pushing your buttons, forcing you to up your game, see, you would never have that. You would still be cowering under a wet twat. Now, for business aspects, I did those things for good reasons. Not only that, when I get in the ring, I'm all business. Oh sure, when it's gang related, we're gonna have some fucking fun, baby. But when it's me, and it comes down to TCB and a little ACTION, I'm sorry, I shouldn't spell in front of you, should I, Primetime? I forgot. It wasn't hooked on phonics, it was hooked on ebonics for you. But, let's face it. The people that kept it going wanted more. Now, the people that got more were the ones that worked for it. And you were a big influence on that because you finally got it through your head that NEW is the way to go. Now, you still want to do CWE, and that's fine. That's up to you. You're giving it a year shot. You're trying this out and seeing if you can do it. And I think you can. I think you got it in you. But quite frankly, that's all on the back burner. See, you're doing all this training. And I love you. Well, you can't do what I do, and I do CrossFit, and I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. And it's true. I mean, I got a gut. How many people with a gut my size do you know that can do a full flip into a leg drop? How many people my size do you know can do a bridge without their arms? I can. Can you? How many people do you know my size that move like me, that can think on the feet like me? Now I'll brawl with you, I'll fight you, and I'll wrestle you. And the thing about that is, when it comes down to sheer intensity, when it comes down to being mean, to going that extra step, to knowing what you have to do and the lengths you are willing to go and saying, I'm going to go 10 steps beyond, you don't have that. But I do. You might knock me down to your size, but that just makes it easier for me to punch you in the mouth. Now I have my joke sessions with you guys. I had Johnny Misfit and all that stuff. It was just fun, and I threw on a mask and I joked and I laughed around. But the moment you guys started taking me as a joke, then you got to see how mean I could be. So here's your video back, boy. You're gonna hurt me, but it's only pain. Something you fear, and I relish. So you best tap me out, knock me out, and pin me 1, 2, 3. Because that is the only way. Because out of all records for I Quit matches, I got 2, you got 0. And that's all that matters. Plus I have a few surprises for you coming up. So, you would better get this through your head. You better listen real close to me when I say this. Nobody, but nobody, is bulletproof. Ciao.